The Higgs boson is the last fundamental piece of the standard model of particle physics to be discovered experimentally. But you might ask, why was the Higgs boson included in the standard model alongside well-known particles like electron and photons and quarks if it hadn't been discovered back then in the 1970s? Good question. There are two main reasons. First, just like an electron is an excitement in the electric field, the Higgs boson is simply a particle which is an excitation of everywhere permeating Higgs field. The Higgs in turn plays an integral role in our model for the weak nuclear force in particular. The Higgs field explains why it's so weak. But even though weak nuclear theory was confirmed in the 1980s in the equations, the Higgs field is so inextricably jumbled with the weak force that until now we have been unable to confirm its actual and independent existence. The second reason to include the Higgs in the standard model is some business about the Higgs field giving other particles mass. But why does stuff need to be given mass in the first place? Isn't mass just an intrinsic property of matter like electric charge? Well, in particle physics, do remember that in standard model we first write down a mathematical ingredients list in the particles that we think are in nature and their properties. We then run this list through a big fancy mathematical machine which spits out equations that tell us how these particles behave. Expect if we try to include mass as a property for the particle on our ingredients list, the math machine breaks. Maybe mass was a poor choice, but most particles we observe in nature do have mass. So we have to figure out some clever way of using ingredients that will spit out mass in the final equations without it being an input, kind of like how you can let yeast, sugar and water ferment into alcohol that wasn't there to begin with. And as you may be thirstily anticipating, the solution is to toss a yeastly Higgs field in with the other ingredients of the standard model, so that when we let the math machine we get out particles that have mass. But this model was breaks up something we didn't intend, a solitary Higgs particle, the infamous boson. And since the model worked so well to expand everything else, we figured it was pretty likely that we lonely boson is right. To summarize, the Higgs boson is a particle which is a leftover excitation of Higgs field, which is in turn was needed in the standard model to one explain the weak nuclear force and to explain why any other particles have mass. All however, the boson is the only bit of the Higgs field which is independently variable precisely because the other bits are tangent up in the weak nuclear force and in giving particles mass. The fact the Higgs boson is so independent from the rest of the standard model is why it's the last piece of puzzle to be discovered, and if it turns to be exactly what the predicted, standard model will be complete. The only problem is that we know the standard model isn't a complete description of the universe. It entirely misses out the gravity, for example. So to physicists it would be much more intensively and helpful if the Higgs boson turns out to be quite what we expect. Then we might get a clue as to how reach to the deeper. Now the biggest question is, how does the Higgs field give particles mass? And to be clear, we are talking about Higgs field and not the Higgs boson. We need to know what we ever mean by mass. So well, head towards the other direction and talk about what is mass to be massless. This may sound crazy, but the defining feature of any particle without mass is that it travels at the speed of light. In fact, it should really be called the speed of massless particle. But since the first massless particle we knew about were photons of light, the name has stuck. Anyway, the point is that all massless particles travel 300 meters every second. The details is the area explained by special relativity. But simply but physically impossible for a massless particle is not to travel at 300 million meters per second, as so small is just the property of not having always travel at the speed of light as the side effect. Now, if there is no Higgs field in the standard model, all particles should be massless and thus travel at the speed of light. But you and I clearly have mass because we have the beautiful luxury of being able to steal. Well, while massless particles can only travel at the speed of light, they are allowed to bounce off things like particles which are really just excitations in the quantum field. For example, the electron field is more concentrated at certain places called electrons, and everywhere else is simply space. But the Higgs field is unusual in that it has a high value everywhere. And to be clear, this high value is not the famous Higgs boson, but because the Higgs field has its everywhere non-zero value, Any particle that can interact with it is pretty much bouncing off it all the time, and if massless particles bounces back and forth, or since its quantum mechanism does both at the same time, then even though in between bounces it travels at the speed of light. When you add everything up, it look like the particle is going slower than light, maybe even like it's not moving, since only things with mass are allowed it to move. Our massless particle now looks and acts like it has mass. Well done, Higgs. What's more, the Higgs field can ever interact with its own excitation, which is to say it can give mass to the Higgs boson. To actually, the Higgs field likes to interact with itself so much more than with other slowly electrons and protons. That make us the Higgs boson has a great deal more mass but shouldn't complex, because even though the Higgs have a great lot of travel and only a little bit of mass. So if you find the video interesting,